Hello, this is the Black White Soul, and this is my transformation guide for Evolutionary 2-pack Grimlock. In this 2-pack we get a Voyager class Grimlock based on the Michael Bay movie, and as I've said with every single one of these, much prefer these colours, nice golds, blacks, and quite a bit of grey, but you still get a bit of detail in there. His eyes are nice blue, but it's quite deeply inset into his head. And then we get a Grimlock based on the original G1. This is not the original G1 Grimlock. It's actually based on the Transformers Energon line. It's a very, very obscure figure to choose, considering there's quite a lot of Grimlocks out there they could have put in this pack, but it looks the part. So, unlike the Deluxe class 2-pack, this is actually a big beefy, I would say we'd call it a deluxe class, but toys back then used to be a bit bigger. And yeah, his mouth doesn't open that much, but he's got some nice pointy teeth, red eye, and yeah, got all the details you'd expect from a Grimlock toy. Though I think the tail should be this yellow colour rather than this white, but it's fine. It's a good looking Tyrannosaurus Rex. My only sort of issue is he's got nowhere to put the sword. Oh, I've just clicked his neck. As for the transformation, it's fairly simple. You're going to take this whole top section and you are going to flip that over to reveal his robot head. You've got this little slider on the side, going to push that up, and then you get his hand. Same for the other side, slide it out, pop out the hand, pop the tail. I have to admit, this does transform very closely to the original. There we go, just need to get your fingers in there. Split the tail, flip down the legs. Make sure these arms are clipped in. Oh, there. Now he's got a lot of back gibble, but he's got quite big legs. Now, in this mode his sword can fit in his hand nicely. And you see it's just a very basic, sort of quite old school sword, just a red bit of plastic with some detail on there. Though it does look a bit odd, I find. Right. He's got everything you expect from him. Rotating arms, legs go in and out. Legs? Technically dinosaur legs, but his arms go in and out. Legs move. Ugh. I'll explain that in a second. Legs go back and forth. It does have this big backpack sitting off the back. It's a bit bigger than the original would be, but it's fine. It doesn't hinder the figure too much. Does pull him back a bit, but as long as you have your hips forward. The reason the figure can split in half down the middle is because this should generally, you also see there's another head hiding up there. This could combine with Energon Swoop and make a slightly bigger robot. But unfortunately I do not own that figure, and nor has that figure been made for, I believe, must be what, 10 years. That's another reason why I think this was a very interesting choice of figure. And then especially because the swoop didn't come with the swoop that I can combine, then you could actually do that. So I might have to look on eBay to do that, but yeah. That's just an extra thing this figure can do. He's not a bad little guy. To get him back, just pop up the head. That basically makes the majority of the T-Rex. Pop out the sword, pop up the hands. Pew. Oh, something I did miss out is he's actually got these heel spurs that will help him stand up. So his backpack is actually less of an issue with those out. Gonna slot those tabs into there, squeeze the whole tail together, and there you have him. Yeah, he's a nice little guy. I'm kind of glad it was this one because, wait, focus. Come on, there we go. I'm glad it was this guy because I have most other Grimlocks. So having this guy in my collection is kind of useful. And then we get onto our main event, which is our movie Grimlock. Yeah, he's a nice looking T-Rex. He's got a chompy mouth gimmick. That's pretty much the only one. Yeah, this is his weapon. I suppose it's somewhere to put it. You can just pop that off. And then he looks a bit more like a T-Rex should. Yeah. But yeah, nice colouring. It's a very interesting transformation. Let's get to it. So just pull the legs out the way for now. And this tail is going to fold all the way down. Then tuck the little T-Rex arms down. And they can fit onto the sides of the legs. Split the legs apart. Flip down the feet. And there's the bottom of our figure. With the legs down here, you can take this whole front section, push it down until it sort of clips in. Let's just raise the camera a bit. Flip in these here heel spurs, flip down the T-Rex foot, flip it all the way around, and it will fit in a little tab. Where are we? There we are. See, there's a slot there and a tab here. That's just gonna pop in there. Now, the tricky bit is this backpack, because you've got a few sections to deal with. You've got this flap here. Knock up the T-Rex's, whatever these are, extra spikes. They look a little bit like dog ears. I think they make him look quite happy. Pull the head apart. Now, as you pull this head apart, you want to leave it so you've got a little clear track in the middle to slide that through. Then you can push these up. You can fold that up there. And there you have him. There's a couple of things you can do with this backpack. If you want it tighter against his body, you can fold that right up and sit that in there. That's probably the smallest you're going to get this backpack. But then it does give him this bit up here. If you just let that dangle down and flip that down, it will stick out a bit further. Actually, I think you can get this down even further. There we go. Then you can get that to sit flush against the back. And there. So, whichever's your preference. It gets in the way a little bit either way, but I prefer this way, because then his head looks cool. And there he is, an impressive standing robot. Yeah, you can just see those blue eyes in there. I think this paint on his face is a little bit thick, because you lose some of the detail. But he's still a nice looking figure. Here's his weapon. Now, this is an issue with the figure. He can hold the weapon fine, but he sort of holds it halfway through, so we can either stab them down there or bonk them with this bit up here. But the only issue is with these arms. Because of where this clips in, it means the only movement you really get from his arms is there. Unless you want to turn his arm to the side. There. Hello? Oh, there we go. And he's got like weightlifting arms. Come at me, bro. But you can just leave this unplugged, and then you have more natural moving arms. And see, you can now wield this in multiple ways. So I've just leave those unlocked. And then you can get a much better standing and looking figure. Get him back into beast mode. Pop the weapon out of his hand. Flip the T-Rex leg down. Find the ridge of the shin. Plug that in, flip that down. Doesn't matter the real order you do this. Just gets those out the way. And you got the backpack here, remember? So as you disconnect that and start spinning it, there we go, push it push these two bits up. And then you can start sliding that through. Oh, didn't do it soon enough. Start sliding that up and past. There we go. Clip the head together. Gonna then squeeze that till it clips. There it is. Now this bit took me a while to figure out. You don't want to pull on here, because this tab is free to allow more leg movement, but that'll pop off. So grab him either side this silver chest piece and pop that up. Going to bring it all the way up until it hits his head crest, and then you can push that down, and that's going to dictate where that sits. And when you do that, you can flip the legs, pointing the toes, and you can see on the feet they've got a little peg there. They'll squeeze together, and just push them up until they sit against the body nice and flush. Pull the legs down and pull down the T-Rex's chest bits and flip forward his arms. And you just keep squeezing and fiddling until it all fits together and you got rid of those gaps. Knock down the little doggy ears. And there he is. If you really want to have the really long tail, you've got these little slots in here. You've got these pegs on the side. Once you've got the pointy bit of the shoes in, that will just slide in there. And there he is. Now, do I recommend this pack? I find it a little bit harder to recommend over the deluxes, as the bonus figure is not free. This is a quite expensive box set. Especially for the fact that this is actually an old school deluxe and not a Voyager. If it was two Voyager classes, I would think you're getting better value, as he's actually sort of old school deluxe size and a Voyager. This comes more down to how much you really want the extra figure for collectors or two figures for kids. And I do actually, on another side, prefer the paint on this to the actual normal Voyager release. It's just got a bit more black, less sort of grey sitting on him than the solo packaged Voyager class. So, yeah, you can pick him up. It's not you must buy, but this is a good little set, especially if you don't have this guy already. So, if you have any other Transformers you want to know a little transformation guide for, or have any other questions, please feel free to message me, leave comments on the video, and then I can get back to you as soon as I can. So, until next time, TTFN.